it's 12:30, so we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Riley Barber. I'm the Youth Programs and Membership Coordinator for Beefmaster Breeders United. Thank y'all for getting on with us this afternoon for our new member question and answer session. We hope that we can help y'all learn a little bit more about BBU and the different things we have to offer. To start off, we're going to go through and kind of introduce our staff so you kind of know who you're talking to and can put a face with the voice when you call our office. So, Colin?
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Colin Osborne, Executive Vice President at Beefmaster Breeders United. We've probably crossed paths somewhere out and about around some of the events. I would encourage everyone, if you have the opportunity, to continue to come to those and come up and introduce yourself. Sometimes we're tied up with some others and don't certainly get to meet everyone that's there, but we're very appreciative of having you guys on board and being members. And anytime you have questions or concerns, don't hesitate. Come to us, let us know. Let us know what's going on if you're running into some bumps somewhere along the way. And we'll be glad to try to work with you and get through any of those issues that we may be having. But glad to have everyone on.
Okay, Donna.
Did you call me?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I can't hear you. Sorry. I'm Donna Henderson. I'm office manager and general flunky around here, I guess you'd say. No, most times when you call, you'll get Brandy or myself. Sometimes there are some others that will answer the phone. Riley answers quite a bit. So what I'm saying is if you don't get Riley or myself, you haven't called the wrong number. So, but I just kind of keep things rolling around here. A lot of times if there's issues, I'll get those emails. Our emails are all listed on the website. So just so you know, you've got them at your fingertips, even if you don't know. I'm glad to be here to answer questions this afternoon and glad you could make it.
Lance?
I'm Lance Bauer. I'm the Director of Breed Improvement. I handle a lot of the performance data, questions on performance data, EPDs, that kind of stuff. You've probably seen me at sales. I go to a lot of sales around. Find me. We can look at cattle. We can talk about performance. We can talk about EPDs, any questions you may have, or if you've got questions about anything that we're doing in terms of breed improvement, give me a call and shoot me an email. Like Donna said, all our contact info is there on the website. And if I don't get back to you, leave me a message and I'll get back as soon as I can. It's great to be here this afternoon to answer any questions anybody has.
Geraldine?
Hi, I'm Geraldine Novak, and I am the communications coordinator. And basically, I handle any type of advertising, social media, the emails that y'all receive. Hopefully you receive the e-news, updates on the website, placing ads. We also offer opportunities for Beefmaster breeders to place ads in our publication. We have a commercial publication called the Beefmaster Pay Weight. And I also help submit news to the monthly magazine, the Beefmaster Cowman. So basically anything, photos, video, photography, social media, website, it's kind of, I have my hands in the middle of it. So I do help when I'm in the office. I work from home most days. I'm in the office once a week, but I do help do registrations and transfers as well. So sometimes I might reach out to you if we need more information. But I'm glad that everybody got the invitation for this, got the email. So I'm glad that you're on today, and I'm excited to hopefully meet some of y'all in person one day.
Brandy? Oh, Brandy, I think you're on mute still.
Okay.
There you go.
Good. Okay. I'm Brandy Feller, and I do the registrations and transfers. I also do the sales. And then I help Melissa with the DNA as it comes in. So if you need stuff sent out, just let me know and I can send it out for you.
Melissa?
I'm Melissa. Hello. I do the DNA. I process it and I submit it to the lab. So if you have any questions regarding DNA, then I can answer your questions, hopefully.
And then also we have another staff member, John Garza, who is our Director of International Programs. He was unable to make it today, but if you have any questions about international things, his number and email are on the website, and you can feel free to contact him at any time. To start off, we would like to go through and just kind of give y'all a preview of our website. And so the first thing to do is go to beefmasters.org, and you can pretty much find the majority of the answers to your questions. So typically, you'll be on the purebred side of things. And one thing we want to highlight is our educational videos that we have. So you'll go to the education tab found here. The second tab is videos. These videos have anything from marketing to basics of Beefmasters to DNA information. And even if you scroll towards the bottom, Lance has done an awesome job giving you information on how to collect DNA and different things like that. We even highlight how to register an animal online, entering weaning weights, how to collect DNA samples and stuff like that, and generally how to use our website. So this is a really helpful tool, especially for new members that are just getting started and might not be as familiar with our program. I know Donna had a few things that she wanted to mention. You're still muted, Donna.
I'm trying to get past that.
Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and open it up for some questions that I know y'all had. I know several of y'all submitted pre-questions when you filled out the survey, and several of them focused around EPDs. So Lance has already done a Q&A webinar on the EPD basics and stuff like that, which can be found on our website. But if y'all had any specific questions that you wanted to ask him. Yes, sir.
I sent in a couple of questions already, but one of my questions is, what is a typical sales commission or cost for selling these animals at these sales events we have? I mean, I tried to corner Lance when I was in South Louisiana this weekend, but he had a long line of people. I didn't want to bother him, but I did try to find you, Lance. Well, I got pretty close to you, but I wasn't able to speak with you. But anyway, if you don't mind, if you could answer that first question for me, whoever could answer.
So that's actually, those sales are run through a sale manager like Anthony Mahalski or someone like that. And that sales commission and the cost of being and participating in that sale is going to be, it varies based on those different satellite sales and who the sale manager is. So it's not a BBU deal. I think a lot of times we hear anywhere 10 to 15% on a sales commission. Correct me if I'm wrong, Colin, but that's what we typically hear coming out of a sale, is that number.
No, you're pretty well right on, Lance. Location has a lot to do with those expenses. You know, if you're having to go and rent a facility and then rent the pens and everything that go with those to set the sales up, if it's not at an already fixed facility, there's a significant more expense with that. And then of course, all the advertising for those sales. And then your average sale fees that are going to come through the satellites, depending on exactly what those are and what those other sales expenses, if they're having meals or any special events. So that's going to kind of make up most of your sales expense that you're going to incur on a satellite sale.
Thank you. Now you can go on to somebody else, and if nobody else has a question, I got another one.
Go right
I
ahead.
don't want to hog up all the time.
You're fine.
Well, I guess my next one is, I just emailed Lance. I was kind of hoping that maybe Lance might be able to help me. I'm kind of an Excel for Dummies book kind of guy. I need somebody to help explain some of those EPDs to me. You know, every breed's different. I kind of looking for a baseline value. And, but what is that U classification and X classification? I read some of the literature, and looks like you guys take a look at the animals, even though they may have registration papers, and classify a B or an X or a U or an X. So if you don't mind, take a second and just explain that to me. Maybe that's not a clear question, I can rephrase it.
So that classification system is a system that's been in place where we classify those animals as acceptable, which is a U, and X would be unacceptable. And what we're looking for is structure and quality of those animals. It's a voluntary program that you can take part in. I know a lot of times when I visit with people, we're not really doing U and X classification. We're just looking at those cattle and evaluating them. That's what more and more people have moved to. So that U classification is a little bit older. There's several satellites that still require that for their sales, that those animals be U classified, and we'll do that there at the sale. But that's what that system is. And then the EPDs, just feel free to give me a call on EPDs and we can discuss anything. And Riley, can you go to the genetic evaluation tab? If you go to that genetic evaluation tab, that green box up in the corner right there has all the averages for non-parents, so animals that haven't had a calf, as well as active sires and active dams. So that gives you a baseline, but I'm more than happy to talk to you on an individual basis on any other questions you may have. But that's a good screen to start on, and probably where we'd end up when we started talking is going through some of that stuff there.
And what you've seen with the classification program as it's involved, you hear a lot of people start to talk about descriptors. You know, this is a 2-type animal or a 1-type animal. So it's kind of become part of the lingo, so to speak, when they start talking about different classes of quality patterns.
Yeah, the reason why I ask, and I'll have to read up on it, everybody is different. Somebody's opinion on quality may differ from mine. And did you guys have the questions, Riley, that we emailed in, or that we filled out when we signed up?
Yes, sir.
Because I got a couple other questions in there.
Yes, sir. So real quick, Mr. Escobar, did you have a question?
I was, well, thank you first off for having this meeting. And I wanted to know if there was a particular area that the breed as a whole was looking to improve as far as genetics.
So I would say you're going to see a lot of pressure being put on carcass traits right now, as we're continuing to move into the beef industry as a whole is continuing to move more towards a grid-based system that many of these cattle are harvested on, and the premiums are paid based off of yield and quality grade. So one of the areas that we know that we've continued to need to work on is improving ribeyes and improving IMF. There are some bulls out there that and females that have had some selection pressure put on, and they've begun to excel, but it's probably only been the last 5 to 7 years that there's been much emphasis put on any of those, and really the last 3 to 4 years that people have really started making some decisions based off of that carcass data. So that's where I would tell you that the breed is focusing right now. Of course, our strengths are our maternal abilities, and we're always trying to improve those. And you're seeing some more maternal metrics come out and maternal EPDs such as age at first calf and stayability. We're going to add to those. And then you'll see us here in probably the next year or two, just depending on how much data we can gather. We'll come in and revamp those dollar indexes with some new traits starting to feed into that dollar M index, especially.
I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a streamlined process for transfers of Beefmaster cattle yet where the current owner can release the transfer paperwork online and then the buyer can complete the process, or is that all still got to be mailed in?
So for our transfer paperwork, if you have the paper in hand, we do require that you fill out the back side of it and mail it into our office. Now, if you are using our online registry system and you register the calf and know that you plan to sell it, you can always select the button that says hold paper for online transfer. And that gives you time and it won't print the paper automatically. And then once you do sell that animal, you can go back in and put in the transfer information, the buyer's information. And that way it will not mail the papers to you and will mail directly to the buyer once that process is complete.
Okay. And as far as young stock, we had our first Beefmaster calf late last year and we weighed him for birth weight, but we haven't turned that in yet. Is there timelines required to actually submit that information or just timelines for when that has to be measured?
It's just a timeline for when that weight has to be taken. You can take it and you can record it whenever you would like, but birth weight within the first 24 hours and then the window for weaning weight, window for yearling weight. But turning it in, there's not a timeline.
Okay.
You could
Thank
go
you.
through and register those calves as they're born individually, and then go back and add that performance data just as it's collected and as you have more time.
Okay, thank you.
I'm glad she brought that up. I bought some cattle this past weekend and I was assuming like some of the other registered breeds I've had in the past that they'll be mailing out those to me. I'm sure that's the case. That Lance at the sale we just had this weekend, that's the way they'll do it.
So the process is all that paperwork from that sale will come into the office. Brandy will process that. And then when all those transfers are done, those papers will get sent to you.
The sale managers do have 45 days to reconcile their books before they have to get them into us. So sometimes they'll take that length of time. Sometimes Annette Robbins likes to get them off her desk. So hers might be a little bit quicker. If you pay out at the sale, she'll wait for checks to clear and they'll start doing their books and get them to us as soon as possible. But private treaty is a little bit different than the sales. The sales do have time to reconcile their books because they have consignments in it. So don't be, just kind of write down what you buy and be looking for that paper. If you haven't heard from us within 6 weeks, have it down on that note and call us back and see if we know what the status is on that. We may tell you to contact the sale manager, or we may tell you it's due in any day or we're backlogged, but don't hesitate to call and ask. We don't mind that at all.
If nobody has another question, I've got one on past sales values for animals have sold for, so that I kind of understand when I'm looking at pedigrees, what I can expect to pay for an animal. Do we have anything like that?
So in your Cowman, every month, there's a sales summary of those different sales. And it gives you those averages and it breaks them out. That would be the best that we would have. So whatever sales report those averages to the Cowman, that's what we have.
We also have some of them posted online. It depends. It's really up to the sale manager also for them to submit it. So we do have it online. If Riley, or if you can make me the host so I can show him where, but it's under our blog and they're tagged as sale reports. So just go up to the very top, and there's this little blog next to Twitter, between Twitter and YouTube. That's the blog. And see right there, this is a sale report. And if you scroll down and go to the tag at the bottom of each post, each sale report is tagged sale report, and that will bring up all the sale reports we have ever posted. So, but the Cowman is online digitally as well. So if you don't have hard copies of the magazine, you can go to their website, beefmastercowman.com. They have their archived issues, and there's usually towards the back, but those are the resources I would use.
And I'm going to tag on to what you said a little bit there, Geraldine. Up at the top of the website, I know there were several questions that came in over EPDs, and we've had a couple different webinars that maybe you weren't able to attend, and they were small groups, kind of like this. We had 8 to 12 or 15 people that would join, and Lance gave a couple little presentations on data collection and just EPD basics. But those you can find under the YouTube tab at the top. And they're right there. And then there's also a little more detailed marketing webinar that we did here a couple of weeks ago as well. So certainly try to keep those in front of everybody, make sure y'all know where they are.
Earlier, you had answered a question about evaluation of animals and the designation of U or C. Even informally, how do you go about getting your animals assessed?
So send me an email. We do a lot of it if on the way to or from a sale. Base that on where we're headed. And so just let us know where you are if you'd like us to look at them. We've also done a lot of video and emailed pictures since COVID hit. So send us some pictures. I mean, we can look at them and kind of tell you where you're at, where we see. If you'd like that, just like I said, send me an email and we'll look at them.
Okay, thank you.
Kelsey Rutherford has asked a question via chat. They have recently had Beefmasters added to their farm, about 7 cows. They bred 3 of their females. They have heard that white in Beefmasters isn't a desired trait. Is that true? When assessing them, does color matter? So that's just a personal preference, Kelsey. We just ask for a color code when you register them so that we can determine what colors they are. But that is up to personal preference. Are there any other questions from the group?
I know there was a question that came in earlier, Riley, about how accurate the mating tool is that's there on the search pages that you can use. And basically what that's going to do is just going to give you a simple average. And if you take sire and dam and run simple averages for each one of those traits, that's kind of where it's going to give you for a starting point. If you go down in the red, yeah, there it is. You can enter a reg number of a male and of a female, and then hit report, and it's going to give you a little chart of just what those average EPDs are. So until those animals get through their first couple of years of life and into production, we certainly don't know exactly how they're going to perform, but it's still a pretty accurate measure of how we would expect them to perform based off of their genetics, taking out any kind of the environmental differences that we see from program to program.
Well, I was just gonna come back in. I got unmuted now, so so sorry. I hadn't had a share screen very much. What I was gonna bring up was kind of the questions that Heather was asking about transfers. Making sure that you have your member number. Even when you're calling into us, it always helps us if you have your member number and we don't have to search. It's just more efficient for us. When Riley does send out the new member welcome packet, she sends in she attaches the email that has a point that has your card on there, and it looks like it's really big, but you can adjust it, and you can actually do where you have your number, and you can minimize it and make yourself a laminated card to put in your wallet or whatever, if you have card stock or whatever. That's always helpful, especially when you go to sales, because if those sales managers are checking you out and you give them a business check that has a business address on there and you don't give them your member number, we're setting up a whole different membership to put those cattle in, and they really need to be in your active number so that you can continue working with those cattle. And we don't tell you, well, you're not the owner. Well, yes, I am. So anyway, it's important to have that number handy. And even if you just do it on a slip of paper and laminate it and pull it in your wallet, you know, so you can pull it out every time, it just really does help. The other things that we were looking at, when you go to our website, beefmasters.org is the official website. There's other websites that are out there that may be run by satellite or just different groups. So you'll want to kind of keep in mind, if you're on our official website, is where you're going to get the most accurate information. Then if you have questions, you can always call us. We're here for that. The other thing is on the transfers that come in, Heather, if you have it, if you can hold that certificate in your hand, if you've had it in your hand at all, you cannot transfer it online. That means it's been printed. You know, you have to do it through the through mailing it in, filling out the back of it and mailing it in. And I know Riley covered how you can do the transfer online if you hold it for online transfer. And that doesn't mean hold it for online transfer and then call me and tell me, Donna, transfer it to Colin. You know, I can't do that. We have to have signed forms. So that is one of the things. We're going to have it on our forms, and we're going to have your signature. You can't just call up and say for us to do. It doesn't work that way. So the most important thing that I can think to tell you is communication. Communicate with us. If there's an issue, if there's a problem, don't go talking to other breeders about it. You might ask opinion, but call us and get the straight of it. Let us know what's going on. There was a lady that called the other day, and her membership, she goes, well, I don't know if I should renew my membership or not, because I can't get this bull that I bought. I can't get the certificate. I said, well, hold on. So I went and I looked, and it had been mailed to her in January of last year, and she never got it. And she never called and said she didn't receive it. She just thought it wasn't being transferred, that she hadn't done her membership. You know, why should she? So after a little bit, I found out what the situation was. We can't walk everyone to your house, and the mail's not going to deliver every single piece that we mail out of here. I'm sorry. You know, that's just a fact of life. So give us a call. That's why I said, when you go to a sale, write down what you purchased and be looking for those transfers within about 6 weeks. Anything that you buy, you're looking for it. You don't want it to, I don't want to get that call 3 years later and say, well, in 2017, I bought from Lance this animal. I've never got the paper. I want to know about it right after you buy it, when you're expecting it. And I can tell you, well, the sale just came in, we're a little backlogged, we'll have it out to you. I can give you an answer. But if we don't know you didn't receive it, we mailed it out, we think everything's good. So kind of keep track of what you purchased, what you're expecting to come in. And if you don't get it, by all means, give us a call and let us work through it. Because things do get lost in the mail that we mail out, as well as things that you mail to us. And we take responsibility, just like we expect you to kind of take responsibility and follow up with the things that got lost that you mailed. So we'll work with you if you communicate with us, definitely. So having that member number handy. There's also in the Kalman, which we give you each month with your membership, there is association news that you'll see at the bottom. This one's continued on page 18. It's going to tell you any changes in programs that are coming up. It's going to tell you any changes in fees that are coming up. When your dues are due in January, it says, hey, pay those dues, you know. So it's gonna keep you informed. So if you don't have time to read the whole Kalman magazine, at least find that page with the BBU news or association news and read through that part. Because if you call and tell me, well, I didn't know dues were due, we send you the magazine for a purpose. You know, we also put it in our e-news, and, you know, we try to communicate it every way we can. So be a little proactive and help yourself too by taking advantage of where we publish that, and go on and look and see if it's dues time again. So, and definitely if you have any questions, you know, I want to reemphasize, please call us. You know, we're willing to walk you through or talk to you. There's also videos like Riley referenced online that walk you right through an online registration to use that system. It is screenshot by screenshot, done very well by Geraldine Novak. I mean, you couldn't want anything more. She explains every field that's on that screen. She explains it. So just let us know. One thing I will tell you as a new member to print out, if you go to forms, can you find that, Riley, on the website under registration and forms? If you look on the right-hand side, about 3/4 of the way down, it's reference codes. Those reference codes right there, I tell people, print that out and put it with your paperwork, that when you're entering calves, it has your color codes up there you're gonna need. You can't just type in red, you have to put a 1. So that gives you all your color codes. It gives you your weaning windows, your yearling windows, your management codes that you'll need to know how they got to that weight. For yearling and for weaning, they're different management codes. So you just look and see which one applies to your program. So we try to provide everything we can, education-wise, on the videos, and I'll take advantage of all that. And by all means, if you have any questions, do call us.
Like Donna said, communication is key with us. If you have any address changes, email address changes, phone number changes, please let me know. My contact is on the website. If you go to Purebred side and then go to association and go to staff, all of our contact information can be found here. Please let us know if your email or address changes or anything like that, so you can be staying up to date with current news. Is there any other questions? Yes, sir, Derek.
I have one question in regards to, let's say I've got some crossbred Beefmasters heifers and I breed them to registered bulls. Am I able to register that stock, that offspring?
So we've got what we call our commercial upgrade program, where we start with a commercial cow. She gets inspected as a base cow. Her heifer calves out of her and a registered Beefmaster bull would be what we call the first cross. You breed those first cross heifers back to a Beefmaster bull, and those heifers are a second cross. And then you breed those second cross to a Beefmaster bull, and once we get their calves on the ground, those are all able to be registered. So that third generation away from that base cow.
Questions? As always, we are always available to answer questions by calling the office at 210-732-3132 or sending us an email. Now that you kind of can put a face to the name and kind of know what our different responsibilities are, you can kind of direct your questions a little easier. But as always, we are here to help you and do whatever we can to help your Beefmaster be a success. So thank y'all for joining on today. We really appreciate it. Oh, hold on. Geraldine is going to do a drawing. For y'all joining, we are going to put you in the running to be to get a Beefmaster hat. So 1 second.
Yes, so thank you to everyone that joined on today. And as a thank you, we are gonna spin the wheel and see who wins. So let me bring up this handy dandy little internet wheel. Can everybody see that? I think the names I have, make sure I have you. If I believe I have Kay Rutherford, Kevin Escobar, Derek Beatty, Stacy Justice, Curtis Shell, Heather, Mike Hobbs, and Tess. Is that everybody? Hearing none, I'm gonna click and go. Good luck. I will get with you and we'll get a mailing address to get the hat sent to you. So as Riley said, thank y'all to everyone that attended today. And this will be posted on our YouTube and website, the recording, so you can reference back to it if needed. Y'all have a great afternoon. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Bye.